Okay, guys, thanks for sticking around and coming back for part two. Actually, let me go back one. When we left off, we were talking about the verb ser in all of its different contexts. And the video cut off, so now we're going to do the second part. This is much shorter, and we're going to take a look at the verb estar. So here are the contexts in which we use this verb. Talking about location. Where people are, where items are. La localización. This is temporary. You move things. You have a pencil, you take it from your locker, and you put it in your binder. And then you take it in your binder, out of your binder, and then you put it on your desk. And then you take it and stick it behind your ear. Location of items and of people is a very temporary, constantly changing thing. So it uses the verb estar. Conditions. Las condiciones. Another way to say this is to talk about states, physical states, emotional states. These are not a permanent characteristic. So let's say that I'm feeling sad today. I might feel much better tomorrow and be happy, and then a few days later I might be sad. Or physical states, such as being tired or being sick. Those are temporary things. Conditions, physical conditions of items. The ground is wet. The ground is dry. Or something is dirty or clean. Those are physical conditions that change and repeat. Remember, one of the things that we can think about when we think about estar is not only that temporary nature, but whether things kind of fluctuate fairly frequently. So, the third way in which we use estar is to talk about actions that are in progress, a progresivo. So right now, I am talking to you. It is happening right this minute. It is an action that is in progress. So you use the verb estar for that. One thing that's been happening to some of you is you're trying to use the verb ser to talk about actions in progress, and you're sticking a conjugated form of ser in front of a conjugated form of the verb, and that's not okay. First of all, you're using ser. Second of all, you have two conjugated verbs back to back. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. The last one is to talk about impressions or opinions, las opiniones. When you talk about something and you give it a characteristic, but the characteristic isn't a fact, it's an opinion, it's your impression, it's your perspective, you use the verb estar because, one, opinions can change, and two, your opinion might not be the opinion of everybody. So for you to use the verb ser in Spanish, you're sounding as if you're stating your opinion as a fact, and you can come off as sounding, I don't know, like a know-it-all almost. Like your opinion is set in stone. So you'll see some examples of that in a minute. So let's move on to the first use. La localización or location. Madrid está en España. Now this is really strange because Madrid is always going to be in Spain. It is never going to move out of Spain. So why location of places? DeWitt está in Michigan. Why location of places takes estar is a little hard to fathom, and I don't really have a good reason for that. It's just that location of things and people takes estar, and then places are things. So this one makes more sense. Mis libros están en mi casa. My books are in my house. I left them there. But I could pick them up and I could take them to school. So that's more of a temporary thing. ¿Dónde estáis vosotros? Where are you guys? When you ask where someone is, and here we use the vosotros, but you more frequently would probably use ustedes, or tú, ¿dónde estás? Or ¿dónde están ustedes? So to ask where something is or where somebody is, you would use estar. Las condiciones, these are states, temporary states that change. Todos los vasos están sucios. All of the glasses are dirty. I could wash them and they'd be clean, but I'm probably going to drink out of them and then they'll be dirty again. So that fluctuating state is very temporary. Marcos y Elena están enfermos. Marcos and Elena are sick. They're going to get better again. Eventually, though, they're going to catch another cold. They're going to get sick again. Okay? Being healthy is not a permanent state. It's temporary. The last one, Mateo siempre está contento. Mateo's always happy. This is sort of a bad example. I wish that I had gotten rid of the word siempre there. Mateo está contento. Tomorrow, he might not be happy. Tomorrow, he might be nervous or sad or whatever. Eventually, he'll be happy again. Okay? I'm not going to spend too much time on this one because this will be another lesson later on, talking about actions in progress, a progresivo. Mis estudiantes están mirando este video. My students are watching this video. That's what you're doing right now. When this video ends in a few minutes, you're going to go do something else. Okay? Now, this verb, I'm going to get out of the main screen for a second, this show for a second. This verb consists of two parts. You have your conjugated form of estar, and then you have, notice that mirar, it's not the infinitive, but it's also not miran. It's not conjugated. This is called the participle. These three, mirando, explicando, durmiendo, those are all participles. That's why this is going to take another lesson, because I'm going to have to show you how to form the participle. Okay? Yo estoy explicando el verbo estar. I am explaining the verb estar. Mi gato Scooter está durmiendo. My cat Scooter is sleeping. That's what he's doing right now. Eventually he'll wake up and he'll go and look out the window, and then he will do something else. He will eat. He will then probably throw up, because he usually does that after he eats, which is really disgusting. But it's what he is doing right now, and right now is very temporary. Last use of estar to talk about your perspective or your impressions or opinions. Las opiniones. Tu hermana está bonita hoy. Your sister is pretty today. Okay? Maybe this is different than saying tu hermana es bonita. If you said that, you would be saying that she is a pretty person. She's beautiful. She's inherited these genetic traits of beauty. Saying that someone is pretty today, that's very temporary. That's your opinion. Maybe they look nice. Okay? La pizza está muy buena, o está muy deliciosa. It's very good. It's very delicious. That's your opinion of that piece of pizza right at that moment. Okay? Now, if you said pizza es deliciosa, you're talking about, in general, pizza is delicious. But if you say está muy deliciosa, está muy buena, the pizza that you're eating right now is good. That's your opinion of that particular pizza. Last one. La lección de la señora Wolchin está muy interesante. Mrs. Wolchin's lesson is very interesting. And practicamos. We're going to save this for class. So basically, that is the end of the screencast and the end of your homework. Before you come to next class, what you really need to be able to do is conjugate the verb ser, conjugate the verb estar, and you also need to know in which context you use each verb. I'm not going to quiz you on whether you actually can use them in context, because we haven't practiced yet, but you need to be able to explain to me in what situations you would use each. That's it. I'll see you in class el jueves. Have a good night. Hasta el jueves.